Hi, Illinois FFA. How is everybody doing today? Hope you're having a great day, and we'll see how this works here. My computer's thinking. All right, excellent. So, my name's Karen Jones, and I work for Growmark. You may have heard of Growmark or maybe FS. We are a cooperative system that provides agronomic products and services and fuel and grain handling and merchandising to farmers throughout the United States and Canada. Um, our our home area here is Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin. We're headquartered out of Bloomington, Illinois, and that's where I work when I'm able to go in the office. I'm out of the Bloomington home office. I've been with Growmark for almost 16 years. It'll be 16 years in May. And during that time, I've had a few different specific jobs. I started in the agronomy division. I was doing customer service, taking orders, tracking shipments, things like that for our customers. After that, I moved into a marketing role. And with that, I got to help plan reward trips for our salespeople who met their sales goals for the year. So that was a lot of fun. Got to interact with people as they worked to meet their goals and tracked their progress. And then after that, I was able to move into the communications department, which is where I've been for most of my career now at Growmark. My degree is in ag communications, and so this was a really nice fit for me to be in this department. I actually started in communications for Growmark as the publications and news specialist. And so when I did that job, I was the editor-in-chief of our company magazine. It was called Spirit back then. Now it's called Source. And I wrote articles, did interviews, took pictures, all that kind of fun stuff. Also got to work with the media. So if people had questions about what Growmark or FS was doing, I got to help them get their questions answered, get to work with them on different story ideas, both print and radio, and a little bit with social media. Then it was still a fairly new technology. And so I didn't get involved in that too much, but we're very involved with it now, as you can tell, most businesses are. And then after I'd done that for about 5 years, I had the opportunity to move into my current role, which is youth and young producer specialist. And so with that role, it's got a couple different parts to it. One part, and part of the reason I think that I was asked to do the Facebook Live today, is because I do get to work with youth organizations. So I'm Growmark's main liaison with FFA, with 4-H, Ag in the Classroom, Farm Bureau Young Leaders, organizations like that teach youth about agriculture. I get to attend different conferences and events, get to help with some programs. We do an essay contest every year for FFA members that I administer. Also, along with that, I work with our Young Producer Program, which is our member cooperatives, our FS members. They get to do outreach to younger producers, younger farmers, and I help them do that. And then the third piece of my job is working with the Growmark Foundation. And I'm on a team that gets to make recommendations for our charitable giving. And a lot of those are youth and farmer related organizations. And so it's a neat fit that I get to help with those organizations. And then I also get to work to provide some funding for them when needed through the foundation. So one of my favorite things about my job is definitely the people that I get to work with and that I get to meet. I get to travel throughout our system and beyond. So I get to meet people who work for Growmark and FS and hear their stories and learn what they do and see how they're serving our customers. I also get to meet a lot of young people. I get to go to FFA state conventions in several states, and I work with our scholarship program. So I get to learn about college students who are very successful and get to give them scholarship money, which is a lot of fun. So I would definitely say the people and the networking is one of my favorite things to do with my job. So my name again is Karen Jones. If you're just joining us, if you missed that in the beginning, I work for Growmark. I'm the youth and young producer specialist. So thinking about what's challenging about my job, it's normally pretty travel intensive and pretty busy. Of course, right now everything's a little bit different, a little bit changed. A lot of that travel has been canceled. But most of the year, I'm either going somewhere or I'm trying to schedule meetings or events or activities. And so one of the challenges that I have is just keeping my calendar up to date and knowing where I'm supposed to be every day and how I'm supposed to get things done and keep everything moving, because a lot of what I do is deadline based. And so just being able to have that time management aspect can be a challenge some days, and certain times of the year are tougher than others. Summertime is typically a lot busier with youth events, and our company annual meeting is also in the summer, and I'm heavily involved with that. Winter does slow down a little bit, but there's also challenging things in the winter time too, with weather related sometimes challenges. So Emma, I see that you've got a question here for me, and you are asking about the hardest lesson I've learned in my career. And that's a really good question, actually. Um, one of the hard things that I've had to learn is that you can't always make everybody happy. And I'm the kind of person that really likes to do my best and to do things that are going to make people happy and, exactly what they want. And I try really hard to deliver on what I've promised to do. And sometimes no matter how hard you try and no matter how hard you work to get something done, people just might not enjoy what you've done or they might not like it. And so definitely learning that you're not going to make everybody happy, but as long as you've done what you're supposed to do, then you've done the best you can. And if they don't like it, then unfortunately you're just going to have to shake that off once in a while. But definitely a hard thing to learn and a hard thing to overcome sometimes, for sure. So I guess if you want to think about a typical day for me, I don't really have one because it does depend so much on what time of year it is and what else might be going on within the system. But most days I can always plan on having email. I can always plan on having meetings of some sort, one kind or another. But definitely no 2 days are the same, and I really like that. I think I'd get really bored if I spent all my time doing exactly the same thing. I know that some people thrive on that, but that's not my personality. I really do like to have variety and to know what know that every day I'm doing something different, but it's all always for the betterment of my company, the betterment for agriculture, and to advance what we're trying to do that way. Another question about skills and education that I need for my position. I do have a bachelor's degree from the University of Illinois in Ag Communications, and that definitely I would say is a really important thing that I earned and that I brought to the table. And then a lot of continuing education. So over the years, Growmark places a pretty high value on learning new things and getting training for things that you might need. And so I've taken classes on different softwares, on different techniques. I'm part of several communicators groups and go to events and workshops based around that. Actually, recently, I just had the opportunity to become a licensed drone pilot. So we use a drone in our communications department to take pictures and video from time to time, and I was able to get my license so that I could go out and do that too for us. So not something I ever thought that I would learn how to do or get, but I've done it, and it's pretty cool to be able to continue to learn really throughout my career. So another question here from Emma. She asks, what advice would I give to students who are interested in pursuing a career like mine? And I would say, first of all, just be involved with FFA or 4-H or some of those youth organizations in agriculture, or at least take ag classes, because a basic understanding of agriculture is important to what I do. I can't communicate effectively about agriculture or about my company if I don't understand it. And so being able to have that background, I don't pretend to know everything. I have lots of questions and always will, but at least having a basic understanding helps me ask better questions and to be able to find the people who could answer those for me. So I would say definitely do that and build your network. I say often that I'm just amazed at how many people I run into now that I met when I was in high school or I met when I was in college. And, I don't go to the Farm Progress show. I barely go 5 feet down the road and I see somebody that I know. And that's really cool to have that network and people that you can reach out to that you've met, way back when you were in FFA or when you were in 4-H, and they follow you and help you out throughout your career. So another question I've got here is, did I start my career at Growmark? And I did, actually. I have only had full-time employment at Growmark, which I think is a testament to the kind of company that we are. We have a lot of room for growth, and we do keep people for the most part. Once you're in, you tend to really enjoy the people you work with and the company and the challenges. And so we've had people retire recently with 50 years of experience. I don't know that I'm going to get to 50 years, but definitely people, they do like to stay. And so I've built my career here. Actually started as a Growmark intern. So I had 1 summer's worth of experience when I was still in college. And anybody that's interested in the Growmark system, I would highly recommend that program. It was a really good experience and really introduced me to the company, who we are, and some of the different people that I still work with today. Next question, where do I see the biggest need for employees in agriculture? And I'm just going to look at it from my perspective. I know there's needs out there for custom applicators and salespeople and all of those roles, but I would say we need people who can communicate well in agriculture. And you're never going to regret being able to communicate well. No matter what you do, if you're a salesperson, if you're an applicator, if you're a manager, if you're an accountant, doesn't matter. If you can't get your message across, people aren't going to listen to you or take you seriously. So I think a big need for employees in agriculture today is that ability to communicate and to develop that however you need to and however you can. So some of the other things that I've been asked in the past are skills and traits that are important to have for a job like mine. And one of the things I would definitely say is, beyond the ability to communicate, is a curiosity and a willingness to learn. A lot of what I get to do, I've not done before, or maybe haven't tried in that certain way, and just being willing to ask questions, not feeling silly for not knowing everything, but being willing to think about what you don't know and being open about that and asking questions. I found that people will respond really well to sincere questions. And so if you really don't understand something, or if you want to learn more, just having that natural curiosity. And then also, like I said before, the understanding of agriculture and your ability to network. Those things definitely have helped me in my career and would help anybody else looking to do something like this. Another question from Margaret says, what drew me into this field of work? So I grew up on a farm in central Illinois. Actually still live on the farm. My husband works with my family, and we're heavily involved day to day. He's full-time on the farm, and I help when I can. And so I always had an understanding, a passion and knowledge of agriculture. 10-year 4-H member. I have my American FFA degree, so I went throughout the whole FFA system, held leadership roles, did lots of different contests, record books, all that stuff, and knew I wanted to be involved somehow with agriculture. And also just always enjoyed the communication aspect of things. I enjoy writing, I enjoy reading, and so it just really made sense for me to put those two passions together and pursue ag communications. So I think I already talked about the skills I found vital in my job, but like I said, I'll say it again: curiosity, willingness to learn, a basic understanding of agriculture, and networking, the ability to network and maintain your networks. Those things are all important skills. And it looks like I've got one more question here, and it says, what is my biggest piece of life and career advice? And this is kind of a loaded question, but I had thought about this before, and what I wrote down on my paper is, don't expect your first job to be your last job. Now, some people, yes, they know exactly what they want to do, and that's what they do, and they do it forever. But I would say most people probably don't retire from the job that they took right out of college or right out of high school. And that's okay because every job that you have is going to teach you something. It's going to teach you what you like, it's going to teach you what you don't like, and it's going to open up doors and help you build your network. So I've had, like I said, several different roles at Growmark, and I've moved around as my needs have changed and my interests have changed. And so I, don't expect to go into your first job and expect to retire from it. Just take everything as an opportunity and a chance to learn and grow. So I really enjoyed talking to everybody today. It was a little bit strange to talk and not be able to see your faces, but definitely enjoyed this opportunity and hope that I was able to help you a little bit as you're studying about careers. I did get one more question here. Some of the careers at Growmark. So that's a really good question. Besides the communications team that I'm a part of, we have salespeople, we have agronomy experts, we have energy experts, we have grain experts, we have construction of grain services facilities, and also buildings. But beyond that, especially within the Bloomington office, we have a whole variety of careers that people might not even think about being as ag careers. We have our own team of graphic designers who design newsletters and billboards and all kinds of things like that for us. We have a whole IT department that keeps all of our tech running. We have a legal department. We have a government affairs department that works with local, state, and national government. We have accountants, of course. We have trainers who put on workshops, professional development workshops. There's really a lot of careers that can be involved with agriculture that you might not think about when you just think about getting a job in ag. We have those traditional things, those salesmen, the applicators, things like that, but there's so much more within Growmark. So with that, I think I'll go ahead and sign off for today. But again, thank you for your time and your good questions. And I hope to see you guys all again soon. Hopefully we can all get together in person again before too long. So thanks again.